Hey everyone, my name is Travis from EmergeCoreAI, and in today's video I have a quick tutorial for you about how you can create a login for your chatbot. This is something I really haven't seen used yet, especially on YouTube, and there's a lot of useful cases for this login system. This login could be used for internal business use, so employees or yourself and coworkers can log into it. Or maybe you have some sort of paid subscriber system set up for your business. Maybe it's a blog or something, and you wanted to give your paid subscribers full access to this chatbot and then maybe limit the non-paying subscribers to only some. Or if you just want to limit your chatbot use to only specific people, then this login system is great. So without wasting any more time, let's just get into the tutorial. So I'm going to be using Voiceflow to create the chatbot. Voiceflow is definitely my favorite chatbot building platform out there right now. And what's great with Voiceflow and that what we're going to need for this tutorial is the API stuff. And Voiceflow is by far the best chatbot building platform for API integration. And why we need the API integration is because we will be using Airtable right here to store the username and passwords of our users. And linking these two platforms together on other sites just isn't really practical, very hard to do, and most of them don't even allow you to integrate the two together. So that's why we're using Voiceflow. And everything you see in this video is completely free. This is on the free plan of Voiceflow and Airtable, and there's absolutely zero usage fees involved in this system. So you can pretty much use this forever. And you can also take this opportunity to start taking your CRM more seriously if you're not doing so already, and Airtable is a great way to do that. For this tutorial, I only need the username and password, the name, email, date subscribe, that's irrelevant, that's just basically the CRM stuff. But I would highly recommend tracking and storing information other than just username and password of your subscribers, hint the CRM. But that's enough talking, let me just get into the video. So we're going back to Voiceflow here, and we'll start with a talk and then a text block. If you're unfamiliar with Voiceflow, I'd recommend watching like one or two YouTube videos just explaining the platform in general. It's pretty easy to learn, and I'm not really going to be going into too much detail on the basic ways to use Voiceflow in this. In the text block, we're just going to say just a welcome message. So hey, welcome to the chatbot. And then we're going to drag another text block right under it. And we're going to ask, are you a subscriber or not? So we'll say, are you a subscriber? And then this is basically a multiple choice question of yes or no. And so we're going to go to listen and then buttons and drag that down there. And then the first button will say yes. Hit add button. And then we'll say no. And then make sure we drag this start block to this new block, and we'll just name it intro. Doesn't really matter, that's just for you. And so here we are. So like I mentioned earlier about limiting access to non-subscribers, so if you wanted that option, then this no block you can pretty much just drag and then list whatever functions or features that you want your non-paying subscribers to access. But for this video, we're not going to be talking about that. We're just talking about the login. So we're going to drag a text block here, and then we'll ask for their username. And make sure we drag the yes block, or the yes choice, to this block. And then we're going to capture their response. So we're going to go to listen and then capture. And now we're going to change the variable last utterance. So we will just delete this. Okay, so we'll delete this and then hit create new variable. And then we're going to name the variable username with a capital U. Capitalization and spelling does matter, and it matters on Airtable too. So, and I'll go over that a little bit more in the future. But so yeah, just make sure that your capitalization and spelling stays consistent. Hit create variable. Great. So now we can add in the API step. So we're gonna go to where is it? Dev and then API. You can still access this on the free version, which I'm on right now. I'll just name this block API step. So when we click on the block, we're going to get this on the right here. We're going to leave the get, and then we're going to get the URL in a minute. Headers, we're going to hit plus, and then we're going to type in authorization. Just like that, make sure it's spelled right with a capital A. And then the right under it, we're going to leave that blank for a second. We got to get that from Airtable as well. Parameters, we're going to hit plus on here, and then type in filter by formula, exactly how I type it. So I leave no spaces, and I capital the B and F, but not the first F in filter. This is in the Airtable documentation. It's just a formula that they created that allows or helps with the API integration. And then really quick, we're going to go back to Airtable. Now remember how I mentioned spelling and capitalization? So for this field, the username, it's spelled username with a capital U. And so that's exactly how I'm going to spell it right here under the filter by formula. So it's going to be username, which is the same as my Voiceflow. It doesn't have to be the same. I just did that because it's a little bit easier and simpler. But basically, whatever you have spelled out right here needs to be right here, exactly the same. And then no spaces or anything, we're going to hit equals. And then we're going to do quotation mark. And then we're going to do a squiggly parentheses. And then hit username. And then another quotation mark. It should look like that. That's the username variable we created in Voiceflow just a minute ago. And then lastly, we're going to go to capture response. I have some more Airtable documentation I'm going to enter into here. It's going to be response dot records bracket, close bracket with no squiggly, 0, and then close that again, dot fields dot username with the capital U, which matches the field name in Airtable. And then we're going to hit create new variable right below that. And we're going to type in Airtable username. This is just for you. I'm just doing it like that. It doesn't have to be exactly that. Hit enter. Great, so now we got to go to Airtable and get the documentation. To do that, open up your CRM with the username and password. Click on Help in the top right. Then in the bottom right, go to API Documentation. Now scroll down here until we get to the list records on the left here. And we see this example request. And then we're going to copy this URL right here. We can leave out the quotation marks. So copy that, and then go back to the API in Voiceflow. Then in the top, where it says the get, we're going to paste that. And it should look something like that. Next, in headers, first we're going to type bearer with a capital B. So bearer, just like that. And then now we're going to go back to Airtable. Scroll back to the top of this documentation, or let me see where it is. Okay, click on authentication, and then hit create tokens right here. Then this is your API tokens. Well, excuse me, these are your personal access tokens. You probably have none of them if you haven't used Airtable before or the API stuff. Basically, all we're going to do is hit create new token. The token name is just for you. We'll just say YouTube login demo. And so then we're going to add a scope. And we're going to add data.records read. And then we're also going to add schema.bases read. If you just wanted to add all of these, you could, or just add everything but not the write, because we don't want it writing anything in Airtable. But these are the two that you absolutely need. Then we're going to hit add a base, and then click on the base where your CRM or login is stored. So I'm using this YouTube demo here. And then hit create token. Then copy this token it gives you. I'm going to black this out because this is personal and you definitely don't want to share this with anyone else. Click done, go back to Voiceflow, and then after bear, hit space, and then paste the token. And then great, we're done with the username. Hit send request, then enter a username value. It doesn't have to be right, but we'll just do one of them that I have in the username column. Okay, make sure you give that a second. I just had an error because I just immediately tested it. So give it like a few minutes maybe, and then it should send and look something like this. So now we're going to add some logic. So we'll do a logic and then condition block. And then we'll say if, and then hit add a condition variable. Then select the variable Airtable username, the one that we created. Then we'll say if the Airtable username is 0, we'll enter. Oh, yep, is 0. Then hit no match, then hit plus on the path. If the Airtable username equals 0, that means there was no match, meaning they typed in the wrong username. So we'll drag a text block here and we'll say, sorry, we didn't recognize the username. Please make sure the spelling and capitalization is correct, and then start over. Okay, and then we'll drag this top block to this one that we just made. And then we'll drag this back all the way to the beginning, saying, are you a subscriber? And we'll make sure we drag the success block to this. If it's a fail, that means it's a fail on like the API integration step. So we'll just say like, just to be sure, we'll say sorry, an error occurred on our part. And then great, so now we're going to assume that the username they entered was correct. And now we got to go to the password. So we'll say, great. What is, or we'll say now what is your username? Or, sorry, now what is your password? And we'll drag the else block to here. We're basically going to copy what we already did. So we're going to do a listen, capture, and then instead of last utterance, we're going to delete this and hit create new variable. So delete, create new variable, and we'll say password. And then we're going to go to dev, API. Actually, I guess to make it easier, let's just copy this API we already made. Right click on it, then hit copy, and then right click over here and hit paste. And that way we don't need to do any of that stuff again. We do have to change the filter by formula here. So right under it, we're going to hit, instead of username, it's going to be password. Again, this password matches the field name in here where it says password. And then we're going to delete this variable, and then squiggly parentheses, and then hit password, just like that. And then down here, change this to password. And then we're going to change this variable. First hit create new variable. Oh, wait. So we're just going to delete that and then hit create new variable. We'll say Airtable password. Great. And then test it real quick. So hit send request in the bottom right and then test it. And we're good to go. And now we got to add the condition again in the logic. Drag success to that. Then if the variable, scroll down to it, Airtable password is 0, click on no match, then plus on the path. Then I'm just going to copy this block, paste it here, change that to password. So sorry, the password you have entered is incorrect. So we'll drag that there. And then we'll drag that block all the way to are you a subscriber? Great. And then if they're right, then that's the login done. So we'll just add a text block and say, congrats, you have logged in. And basically from this point on, you can assume anyone at this block has logged in, and you can put whatever features that you want only your subscribers to have after this. So let's test it all in full now. So we're going to hit the run here in the top right. Run test. Yes. So then just to check my username, I'll just use this bottom one. So we got Broncos 11. And that worked. So now what is your password? Lewis 17 with a exclamation point. And great, it worked perfectly. And then just to show what happens if someone types it in incorrectly. So, right subscriber, yes. What's your name, username? We just said something random like computer. We get sorry. You have entered the wrong, incorrect username, which is perfect. And then we're taken back to this are you subscriber block. So if someone wasn't a subscriber but they clicked yes, trying to be sneaky or whatever, they'd be taken back to this block, and then they could be like, okay, I lied, no, and I'll do whatever from that. And then let's show off the password just to make sure that it's right. So username John123. And the password, if we typed in something random, again, like mouse, it's incorrect. So, perfect. That is the login step complete. Again, just to make sure, do not mess with the field names and the username or password that you have linked up with your Voiceflow. Even after this login system is complete, you can change the username and passwords in here. You can delete them, whatever, but just don't mess with the field names up here. And you can feel free to add, delete, or create other fields too. Doesn't matter. Just don't mess with the field name here. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to leave a like and drop a comment. Let me know if you have any other questions or any other video requests. I'd be happy to look into it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.